What if all technology vanished overnight?
It happened at 2:17 a.m. local time, everywhere on Earth.
No warning, no countdown. Screens flickered once, then went dark. Phones went cold in people's hands. Planes disappeared from radars. Satellites ceased to orbit.
Every machine, from smartwatches to nuclear reactors, simply stopped working.
No one knew why. It wasn't a solar flare. It wasn't an attack.
One moment, humanity stood on the peak of the digital age, and the next, it was deaf, blind, and utterly alone. The first few hours were chaos. Airplanes fell from the sky. Emergency rooms lost power.
Trains stalled on tracks. Skyscrapers stood in eerie silence as elevators froze and fluorescent lights blinked out.
Then came the city's giant, glowing organisms that could no longer feed themselves.
Streetlights failed. Traffic signals died. Water stopped running. At first, people reached for their phones.
When they saw black screens, they tried to reboot, reconnect, recharge.
Nothing worked. By morning, the silence was deafening.
Some believed it was the end of days. Others thought it was a temporary glitch.
But as hours stretched into days, a new understanding dawned: technology wasn't coming back.
The world began to unravel.
In the absence of information, panic spread faster than ever. News could no longer travel. Rumors became truth. Borders grew tense. Cities emptied. People took to the roads, desperate for answers, food, safety, anything. Cars still existed, but without GPS or fuel supplies, they soon became roadside monuments. Gas stations were emptied within hours. Stores were looted. Supermarkets turned into war zones. Yet something else began to happen, something unexpected. People began to talk.
Neighbors who had never said more than a passing hello gathered by candlelight and shared what they had. Old radios were dug out, but found useless. Books were passed hand to hand. Skills that had seemed obsolete became precious: how to purify water, start a fire, farm a garden.
Elders became guides. Children asked questions with wide eyes. Cities became quiet, not with despair, but with attention.
In the absence of endless noise, people began to listen to birdsong, to wind, to each other.
Families, once split by glowing screens, sat together and watched the stars. Stories returned.
Handmade games, campfire songs, handwritten letters. The world slowed down, not because it wanted to, but because it had to.
There were no more updates. No more emails. No more notifications. Just breath and presence and the long-forgotten rhythm of human life without machinery. Still, it wasn't easy. Winter came.
Without heating systems or global supply chains, survival meant community.
Entire towns reorganized around farming, bartering, craftsmanship. Universities became libraries. Cafes became town halls.
A single working bicycle became more valuable than a car.
And people remembered.
They remembered how to build from nothing.
How to cook without recipes. How to read the sky. How to walk for miles without needing a reason. Children grew up without ever touching a screen.
They learned to build shelters from wood, not code. They learned to read people's faces, not emojis.
They learned patience. Years passed. The world was smaller now. Slower. But it was not dead. In some ways, it had never been more alive.
The memory of the Great Fade, as it came to be called, remained. Some kept broken phones as relics, reminders of a time when we held the world in our pockets but forgot how to hold each other.
Others whispered theories: was it divine intervention, a cosmic reset, or something we had triggered ourselves?
But as generations came and went, one truth settled deep in the bones of humanity: we had been running too fast.
Building too high. Speaking too loudly.
And when the silence came, it didn't destroy us.
It reminded us who we were.